kind of do for real. Cosmic psychedelic funk is what I came to do. Yep. Hi. I'm soul by funky. Hey. Soul by funky. Hi. I'm soul by cosmic soul. Hey.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to, another episode of the Authors Authority Lounge, the official TV show for authors. We're excited to be here. I'm Dr. Takara Nicole.
I am Alan T. Black, and I'm so excited to be here this afternoon. We've got a fabulous guest. I can't wait to get this conversation going. Dr. T.
Yes, we are so excited to have this gentleman here. We love what he's getting ready to talk about. I don't have babies to really share these amazing books with, but I want you to meet the one and only Carlos Middlebrooks. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. We're excited to meet you, get into the nitty gritty, get ready to learn all things why authorship is your jam. Yes, let's go.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. So tell everybody a little bit about Carlos Middlebrooks.
Born and raised here in Omaha, Nebraska. I went to local schools, Clifton Hill, King Elementary, Field Club, Jefferson Elementary, Monroe, and Benson.
Okay.
I always loved writing. My first book that I completed by myself was Dr. Seuss, 10 Apples Up on Top.
Oh.
So I'm a big Dr. Seuss fan, and that's why I try to copy him a little bit.
What do they say? Copy the right cat. I've heard that before.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when we talk about children's books, what's near and dear to your heart about being able to create a children's book?
Well, I originally wrote this book for my daughter to teach her lessons of life in a fun, constructive manner.
Oh.
I believe that children need to know more about joy, peace, patience, kindness, self-control, and respect. So I plan to write many more books talking about those topics.
Amazing.
So this was your first book. When did you get the bug to start writing?
Long ago. I think it was junior high. I had a teacher,
Really?
Miss Freeman and Mrs. Hill at Monroe. They introduced the poetry assignment, and then I've just been a fan of poetry ever since.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
I love it. So for me, one of my teachers that I'm still in touch with to this day, her name is Mrs. Kolbacher. Shout out to you. She was my fourth grade teacher, and she really helped me to understand the importance of liking who I am. I remember that, and just really loving on me and really cultivating the gift. So I've had my gift for a long time. So I think a lot of us do start, way back when and don't realize that, hey, there's something here. I need to really, tap into this. And so how long have you been an author?
My book just came out last September 4th, not previous year. So I'm very new at this.
Oh, amazing.
So Carlos, let's just backtrack for just a second. So you said kind of the genesis was in middle school with poetry. So leading up to that, before you started the road to authorship, did you do things like maybe write journals or poetry or anything like that leading up to the point of becoming an author?
Yes, I love poetry. I do still have many notebooks filled with some of my poetry as a young man. I'm definitely have evolved since then. A lot of my stuff I was confused and sometimes a little angry, but to me it was like a way to get out those emotions in a constructive manner.
Wow. That's amazing that you realize that. A lot of times kids are looking for a way to express themselves, and some turn to some of the ways that aren't the healthiest. And so I love that you shared your journey and how, that has been an outlet for you. So let's dive in. Tell us what we have here on the table here.
Well, this book, The Selfish Shellfish, it's about friendship, bullying, dealing with bullying, and forgiveness. I did write this for my daughter, so I did include her in the book as well.
Amazing.
And I'm a grandfather now. I included my grandson in there as well.
Oh, it's so cool.
So what's it like to write and then to present, not just to your generation, but then to the generation of your grandchildren? How does that feel?
I feel privileged and honored to be able to do this. And I just love telling stories. I love to convey a message, through rhyming, and I hope people love it and enjoy it.
So how old was your daughter when you started the process the idea of, I'm going to write a book for her? How old was she?
She's 22, and so I started about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. So she was like only 2 years old or so. Okay. Wow.
That's so neat. So when we talk about the selfish shellfish, say that 5 times. Jeez. How did you land on the character of a shellfish? I couldn't even say it.
I thought it sounded really cool, and my daughter helped me with ideas and stuff like that. And she actually joked, she's like, I wrote it about myself. So that's what she likes to joke about.
Wow.
So did she come up with the idea of the shellfish, or did you guys just kind of say, hey, this sounds cool, let's go with that?
I came up with the idea, but I did read it to her, and she liked the idea.
Okay. How old was she when you were reading it to her?
Just around 2, 3.
Wow. Really?
Wow, that goes to show on how you can have something inside of you, but you just don't birth it until the right time. So let's share with the audience, not only is this a children's book, what else have you done with this?
Currently I have a activity book. It's coloring and activity book. It has coloring and like a crossword puzzle and a word find, stuff like that.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
So this is what it looks like, everybody. Isn't this amazing? I love the illustration. And so as you go through it, you literally have different pages where you can land on, and activities that you can do, and color. That's so amazing. Very thoughtful. And it's teaching a lesson that says, be nice to friends. So it's fun to play together. Yes. Beautiful. So if you were to say, oh, this is a blank page just for people to color. Amazing.
Okay.
So thoughtful. I absolutely love this. And so how do we create more table time to be able to do things like this with our kids? What are some of the things that you can suggest to our audience?
Oh, well, you always need to start at an early time when your kids' life. And I used to read to my my baby's mother's when the baby's still in the womb.
Oh,
And everything. Like they say, music and reading.
Yeah.
is
That's
definitely
true.
Good.
That's true.
And so when my daughter was born, I always loved to read to her different stories, and she had a stack of books that I used to love to read to her. And hopefully, she has the same ambitions and goals as I did.
right.
So as you were starting that process, was this like something you guys did once in a while, or did you do it like every week or something? I have to imagine she really got to the point where she was locked in on, hey, Dad, it's time for us to read together.
Right.
Yeah. She loved to be creative. She's a much better artist than I am. I still can't draw to this day. So she always, I remember like when we had our laptops, we would make little animations and stuff like that. And she liked to think of little stories that went with them, and that was always good.
So from the time she was 2, and I think you said she's 22 now, I have to imagine, Carlos, you have a lot of material that is still going to be formulated into additional books. Is that a fair assessment?
I do have a lot of material. A lot of it needs to be revised because I have definitely evolved since then. I've learned a lot of lessons by being a father and whatnot. But yes, I have actually started a new book that talks about one of the other characters, Miss Turtle, that's in the book. So I'm going to
Okay.
write a book about Miss Turtle and her adventures.
How many characters in the book?
There's a few characters.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
We want the audience to be able to see this. I wish you guys can feel it. It's such a well done
It's really
book.
cool.
I love the illustrations here. Okay, tell us about this book award before I go into sharing all the illustrations there. Tell us a little bit about the award that you won in reference to this book.
Well, the Literary Titan Book Award. I applied for the award, and they gave me a good review and gave me the award, which I'm very honored to have.
Congratulations. That
Yes.
is awesome, Carlos. It really is.
Oh, these illustrations are epic. Look at these illustrations. They're simply amazing. I love it. So if someone was to pick up this book for their kid, what age ranges would you recommend that they can read this book and walk away with the takeaways that you've put in here?
The suggested age is like 3 to 6.
Okay. I believe some adults can get some nuggets from this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh, this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. So you already shared a little bit about what's next. You have another book that's in the works. Are you looking to create a children's book series? What else do you have there coming down the pipeline?
Yes, ma'am. I want to do a series about the military. So I want to start with the Air Force, and then the Army, and then Marines, and so kids today and people could learn about the sacrifices that they make in a fun, constructive manner, and maybe some of the history of the military services. I believe that we need to show the people who serve more respect. And
Absolutely.
honor. So I would love to do that as well.
Absolutely.
So I would imagine, is part of that coming from the experiences that you may have heard via your father or your grandparents or aunts or something like that? What would you say?
Well, I do have a brother who was in the Air Force, and I currently work for the VA, so I deal with veterans every day. And I hear some of the stories that they tell, because some of them are just lonely, and they'll sitting on the phone and just want to talk and stuff. So I sit there and I listen, and I know that they need to be honored, and we need to appreciate the sacrifices that they make.
So would a book series in that domain be, say, interview oriented, or are you just sharing stories, or are you interviewing veterans, or what have you kind of formulated a concept?
The part I started was just like in the perspective of a kid remembering his grandfather.
Okay.
And then, his grandfather's plane that he flew, and maybe his grandmother worked in the factories, building
During the war.
parts and all that stuff. So in the perspective of a kid, learning about his grandmother and grandfather and all that.
That's great.
It's really important that you're talking about areas where kids can learn more. I think sometimes when you're talking about the branches of the military, they really don't hone in on what every branch does, and even being able to articulate that in a way that gives them hope, if that's what they really want to do. Sometimes when people say, "Oh, I want to go to the Army," "Oh, that's such a horrible idea. Why would you want to do that?" And to be able to empower them through creating tangible lessons in a children's book is absolutely amazing. And so let's rewind a little bit. I know we kind of just dived in and just really talked a lot. So what was college like for you? Did you have authorship on your brain, or did you go to college? What was that period of your life looking like?
I did go to Metro for a minute. I took a chalk art class, and I ended up getting a B+, but I think the teacher just felt sorry for me because I could not draw to this day.
Oh my gosh!
But I did hand in all my assignments. I was there every day.
Yeah.
But I still lack in that skill.
I love God because He told me to ask you that. And so when you're talking about the arts, that ties into what you're
Absolutely.
doing. And
Absolutely.
so, I feel like that painted such a perfect picture for you to be able to kind of put the pieces together. And now, as a visionary, as an artist, you're able to put a book together because you have that lens,
Exactly.
that experience. So I'm glad God told me to ask you that question. All right, so the most important question, I'm just kidding. One of the questions that everybody I'm sure is wanting to know, how can they follow you and support your journey?
Well, my book is currently it's in the Makers Market, which is a local store here
Okay.
here in Omaha that has stuff from people who live here in Nebraska. They have my book in there, and then the Black History Museum. They also have my
Okay.
book there. You can purchase it as well.
Oh, cool.
Then I'm also on Amazon, um, and and that, of course, I have a website and everything like that, and Barnes and Nobles.
Okay. So share with everybody how they can come and get one of your books in person or order it through online. What would that look like?
Oh, well, my website is infinitestoriespublishing.com. If they would like to reach out to me directly, um, and then Amazon will always work, and I believe like 3 to 6 days you can get the book off of Amazon, and it's also on Kindle as well.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like the Kindles.
Definitely.
they do.
So you mentioned, we're going to loop back for just a second to your first books. You mentioned that you have I'm going to use a TV term, a breakout character in terms of the turtle. So what's that story going to be about the turtle from this book?
And don't give us too much.
Just
a
whet our
little
appetite.
bit.
Whet our
Yeah.
appetite.
We want to buy the book. We don't want to give them everything right here. We want to still buy it.
So the story of Miss Turtle is going to be from her perspective and her family. She gets somehow lost in the sea because there's an event that happened, and she has to work her way back home, and she gets to meet other sea creatures in the sea, and
That's really
ask for help.
fascinating.
I think that the lesson in that one is don't be afraid to ask for help.
You know what? I love that so
That's
much.
great.
Wow. Let me share this story real quick. So, I've helped 136 people to date become published. Our youngest one was 5. He's 7 now.
That's amazing.
That is so cool.
And the name of his book, you ready, was called Angelo Asks for Help. And so as a 5-year-old, he wanted to ask for help, whether it was playing Minecraft, making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever it looked like. And there's so many adults out here that are struggling with the concept and the idea of asking for help because of the ways that we were brought up, or just the hurts and the abuse and neglect, the rejection, whatever it looks like. We are terrified to ask for help. And so if we can really teach these kids at a very young age the power of asking for help, it really changes the trajectory of their success, because they're learning that their voice matters. And so I love that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with your authorship journey? What does that look like?
Well, my goal is to at least do 2 books a year.
Well, that's
I don't know if
great.
I'm gonna
Okay, now
make it,
I
but
like it.
That is my goal.
Yeah.
So I hope to just keep growing and getting better, and hopefully I'll have a lot more books out there to share with the world.
And go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just messing with you. So these are books number 1. Are you working on book number 2 now?
I have started the story about Miss Turtle.
Okay, cool.
So it's halfway done, and then I have another idea about my wife. I wrote a book about. Well, I'm writing a book about Andrea the Angry Alligator.
Don't you dare tell a woman's secrets on this show. We're a woman's keeper.
I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot
Sister's
pole.
keeper. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
keep.
staying away from that one.
But you know what? I can already kind of get an idea what that's going to be about. Much needed. Much needed. So what's exciting is that you're continuing your authorship journey and really focusing on creating characters that people can relate to. And one of the things that I've learned about children's books with even just writing my own was that a lot of times we think, oh, this is just for this audience as a child. But a lot of times our book is even speaking to the inner child that we don't realize as well. And so, you know, when you're talking about the selfish shellfish.
Say it again.
No way. No way. You're not going to catch me slipping. The word selfish stands out to me in so many ways. A lot of times we're taught that that's such a bad word, to be selfish. And so it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, you are going to be sharing in that book. So are you on Facebook? Are you on IG? How can people connect with you?
I am on Facebook. Just look me up, Carlos Middlebrooks. And then I'm not on Twitter or anything, or X, or I'm not on that.
Okay.
So just Facebook right now.
Just Facebook.
So question, the storyline, the concept here is just outstanding. Is there in the future the possibility of animation?
Oh, wow. That's a great idea.
I would love to make a little animated series.
That would be so
That
cool.
would be cool.
That would be amazing. And, you know, as you were talking, the idea of audiobooks came to my mind.
Yes.
Not sure what avenue you're
Yes,
rolling down.
definitely.
But that's one of the things you can say, hey, Alexa, read me a story. And she will. I've done it so many
Ooh,
times.
that's
Yeah. And so when you're looking to put kids to bed or you're telling them, hey, it's time to rest, go lay down, they can literally be listening to some of your stories, you know. So I'm excited for you. Do you have anything else?
Well, I was also thinking too that if Carlos, if you do an audio book, hiring a professional is great, but how cool is it for those kids to hear it in the voice of the actual author themselves?
Yeah.
I appreciate and I respect those people who do audiobooks at that level.
For sure.
But I know for my own third book, I'm going to do an audio version because I want it in my voice
Right.
for the kids and the people in my life.
For sure.
I think definitely with children's book, hearing the author's voice, that just adds something else to it.
I couldn't agree more. I agree. Can you do us a favor, pick up your books and show us a little bit about the insides of them so people can see what they're looking at? Look at how detailed these illustrations are, you guys. I absolutely love that. Beautiful, beautiful. And it rhymes. You know, I love that it rhymes. Absolutely amazing job. So impressed with you. So impressed with you. And let's share that with the audience, the activity book as well.
Sure. Can I give a shout out to
Yeah.
the illustrator, Brent Polster? He did an amazing job.
Is he local or where's he at?
He is originally from Lincoln. He lives in, I believe, South Dakota right now.
Okay.
That's some phenomenal illustrations here.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing.
Phenomenal.
And this is the Haley tree. My daughter's name is Haley. So
Okay.
I made the Haley tree and everything. And that's one of my favorite parts. And then my grandson name is Onyx. So I created the Onyx Stone.
Wow.
Okay, so
that's
he has a
so
character named after
cool.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he can go to school, he can brag on
Oh,
that.
look, popping collars and everything. Yes.
I got it like that.
I sure do. I'm a character in the whole book. Check me out. And then the coloring book. You know, I love this option for people because a lot of times people don't realize the power of coloring books. Yes.
Absolutely.
Mazes.
And you know what's happening with coloring books and has been happening the last 4 or 5 years? They have exploded in popularity because they have, in a lot of cases, a great therapeutic value to them because it allows people to just kind of filter out a lot of things. So
For sure.
that's a great idea, not just for the kids, but for those who just like to do coloring books.
Absolutely. So one more time, tell the people how they can keep in touch with you.
You can just look me up on the Facebook under Carlos Middlebrooks. I am on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and here in Nebraska, you can go to the Great Plains Black History Museum to purchase my book, and the Makers Market currently.
That's amazing. You got anything?
So are you doing book signings currently? Anything like that coming up in the future?
Yes, actually, on Sunday, I will be at Junk Stock.
Where?
Junk Stock.
What's that?
It's where we're local people who make knickknacks and stuff like that.
Wow.
Together, and I do believe there's like live music there.
Have you heard of that?
No, it's the first time
What's
I've heard
it
of
called?
this.
Junk stock.
Junks. Yes, I have heard of that.
Okay.
I have. When I first moved here, give me a minute. I've only been here for 2 years. Yes, I have. Junk stocks looks pretty fun. It's like a big, huge flea market.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to check into this. This
Oh,
sounds really
it's dangerous from what I've been told. So I might not.
Okay.
I might need to keep
Cool.
my.
Need the credit cards at home.
Yeah, cash only that day.
There you go.
Well, this has definitely been a pleasure. Are there anything that you want to share with the audience before we wrap out? Let's do this. Inspiring words for someone who is sitting on the gift of creating their own children's book. What would you say to them?
I was saying that there's no time like the present to do it, and just keep practicing your skill. I got published here locally. Concierge Publishing is where I went through, and I did have a journey through all these years. But I did try to get my book published long ago when my daughter was still young, and I lost a lot of money, but I finally found this company.
Wow.
Here in Omaha, Nebraska. She is amazing. She's wonderful. She's also an author herself. So I would encourage anybody and everybody, if you have a story to tell, just go ahead and write it up and get it published.
Definitely. Today I had a book launch for some authors, and we were just really celebrating the fact that, out of all the people that set out to accomplish the idea and the privilege of becoming an author,
Yes.
anywhere from 2 to 3% only
That's what I
get
did.
done.
Right.
And so when you think about how many people there are in the world, there's so much room for us as authors, and it's really important for us to understand our lane. So one more time, we're getting ready to wrap up this episode of Your Author's Authority Lounge, the official TV show for authors. Anything you want to say before we leave?
I just want to thank Carlos for coming out and sharing
Absolutely.
today. This is phenomenal. I'm excited about your future, and hey, animation, brother. Animation.
Animation. Anything else you want to say? We got a couple seconds left.
I would like to thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
And everybody just keep on writing, keep believing, and keep your imagination.
Oh, keep your imagination.
Okay.
Well, this has been another episode of Your Author's Authority Lounge, the official TV show for authors. Stay tuned and catch us on the next episode. See you then.
What you trying to do for real? For real. Cosmic psychedelic funk is what I came to do.